Today, we're doing a deep dive into a piece of AV hardware that might seem a little niche at first glance,
Right.
but it actually solves one of the biggest headaches in large-scale installations, which is managing old and new signals all at once. We're talking about the WolfPack Composite Video Input Card, the
And
CVBS.
it's designed to slide right into their big modular matrix switchers. The 9 by 9s, 18 by 18s, even those huge 36 by 36 chassis.
So our mission today is really to understand how an architecture like this maximizes uptime and, how it minimizes risk.
Exactly. I mean, you see the price, maybe $250 for one of these cards, and you might not think much of it.
Right.
But the real genius here is the operational safety net it creates. If you lose a signal from one source, well, you just replace that single one-port card. It takes seconds.
You're not unplugging the whole system.
You're not sending your entire incredibly expensive 36 by 36 matrix in for repair. That kind of redundancy is it's critical for any professional user.
Okay, let's unpack that flexibility. The card is literally named Composite Video, which is, a pretty old format.
It is.
So what's the core technology that lets this one piece of hardware talk to so many different source types?
It all comes down to what they call the universal card design. The whole thing is based on DVI-I technology.
WVI. So the I is the key part there.
The I is everything. It stands for integrated. And that just means it supports both analog and digital signals right on the same connector.
So with a simple adapter.
With a simple adapter, you can plug in HDMI, VGA, component, and of course, composite video. You're basically future-proofing the chassis against whatever gear walks in the door.
Okay, we've covered the flexibility. Let's talk about performance. The sources mention instantaneous switching, 100 milliseconds.
A tenth of a second, yeah.
How fast is that really? I mean, is that something you can actually perceive?
Well, anyone who's worked in older venues knows that. That painful several-second blackout when you switch inputs.
Oh yeah, the blue screen.
That's what this design completely eliminates. And it's all thanks to a high-performance engine that's handling all the complicated video handshakes and the scaling all at the same time.
So for someone who isn't neck-deep in video standards, what is an EDI hop or an HDCP handshake? Why is getting rid of that pause so important?
So an EDI hop is basically your source and your screen negotiating. What resolution can you handle? An HDCP handshake is the copy protection check.
The security part.
Right. An old switcher does all that sequentially, so you get that pause. This WolfPack card does all of that before the switch is even complete, using a frame buffer. It sets the output timing instantly.
So no black screen. Ever.
No black screen.
Now, since we are talking hardware, let's get into the one big warning the sources give about resolution.
Yes, this is important. Well, the card is fantastic for older 480i or 480p video sources. The system manual is very clear about not mixing this specific card with the high-end 4K 60 cards.
Not in the same chassis.
Not in the same chassis, no.
Yeah.
You want to keep those resolution standards separate to guarantee stability.
Okay, let's move on to control. Modern systems have really good auto scaling, so why would a user still need a physical 8-pin DIP switch on the card? Doesn't that seem a little redundant?
That's actually one of its biggest strengths. Those DIP switches, they're little physical switches right on the board itself. It's not software.
Hardware level control.
Exactly. If you have a stubborn old 480i source that just won't cooperate, you can physically force the card to upscale or downscale the signal to match the display. You're bypassing any potential software glitches.
And what about audio? I see that little 3.5 millimeter connector on the input card.
That's for separate embedded audio. It's a crucial feature because you can bring in audio from a totally different source and pair it with your video.
And then you can pull it back out on the other side.
Right. The system supports de-embedding on the output card. So you can send that high-quality audio to a proper sound system, a mixing board, whatever you need, instead of just using the TV speakers.
Okay, let's talk integration. They list a ton of control options buttons, a web GUI, but for the professionals who are building these systems, what's the real standout feature?
It's the simplicity of the command structure.
Yeah.
A standard dual RS-232 and TCP/IP ports for systems like Crestron or Control4.
The big names.
The big names. But they also just give you the simple RS-232 script, and that saves so much time. You avoid all those proprietary driver headaches.
And the script is, it's incredibly simple. To switch input 8 to, say, outputs 1, 8, and 16, the command is just 8 by 1 and 8 and 16.
It's designed to make a professional integrator's job faster and easier. You save on labor costs right out of the gate.
So what does this all mean for you, the listener? You're getting extreme flexibility from that DVI design, you're getting guaranteed reliability from the slide-in card model, and real performance with that 100-millisecond switching.
And it's all backed up. A 2-year advanced replacement warranty, and every card goes through 24 hours of aging tests before it ships.
It's built to last.
It is. The company's R&D really designed this to solve those real-world uncertainties you face on a project. Legacy gear, questions about future upgrades.
Which brings us to our final thought.
Right. When you're planning your next big AV system, think about this. How much value do you place on hardware that can adapt on the fly? Hardware that lets you use simple adapters and manual scaling to protect your overall investment. That long-term flexibility, that might just be the biggest cost saving of all.